Did you know that Steve Trang's favorite book is Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus? All right, so today's topic is going to be when we are talking to sellers. We're asking them all the questions inside of the closer's formula. When we get to talking about the property condition, now this is not stereotyping. This is just literally an observation that I've made over thousands of phone calls. Typically, when you ask a man about the condition of the property, they're going to gravitate towards talking about the exterior and all the systems, the roof and the HVAC and the hot water heater and the exterior siding and stuff like that. Maybe even the yard, the landscape, the things that are important to men. And then when you ask a woman about the condition of the property, she's going to talk about the kitchen and the bathrooms and the paint and the flooring. Now, both are vitally important to us when we're underwriting the deal. We need to know the answers. The problem is if they only give us the answer about the exterior or the interior, we need to know about the other side. And so how do we navigate that? Because here's what I've learned. If I'm talking to a woman and she wants to talk to me about the kitchen and the bathrooms and the paint, that's great. And I have an idea of what the interior of the property looks like, but some of the big six items, right? The roof, the HVAC, the foundation, these are important because they can be costly when it comes to the amount of rehab that's needed. So we have to bullet point ask those, or at least start giving a direction of like, well, can you talk to me a little bit about the age of the roof, or when was it replaced? What about the HVAC? Same thing when we're talking to a man. If he only wants to give us the answers in regards to the exterior, we have to ask about the interior specific items. When was the last time you remodeled the kitchen or the bathrooms or replaced the flooring? Now, what happens more often than not, I'm not saying this is an all-encompassing thing, okay, so don't get offended, but what normally happens is you get vague answers from the opposite sex, right? So if you're talking to a woman, you ask them the specific details about the exterior items, you might get some vague responses. Here's what I've learned on how I overcome this. The answers that they normally give you about either the interior or the exterior are going to come over and be pretty similar on the opposite items. So what I mean by that is, when was the last time you remodeled the kitchen or the bathrooms? Oh, well, we did that a couple of years ago. Okay. What about the roof? It'll probably be something vague in regards to that was replaced a couple of years ago. If you are always aggressive in underwriting the rehab needs of the property, you're more often than not going to be correct. So if I get an answer that says that was done a couple of years ago, and I'm looking at the property from Google Street View, and I see that it's in okay condition, and I just assume that it needs a full cosmetic updates, and I even throw in a little bit extra for some of the big six items like a roof or an HVAC or a hot water heater or something along those lines, that's being aggressive on the rehab needs, and it will land me in the web where the end buyers buy. I don't expect, if I'm asking someone about the condition of the property and all they really want to talk about is the interior, for them to give me suddenly great detailed answers in regards to the exterior items. That might not be important to them. They might not feel, or they might not be knowledgeable enough to even give me that information. So we don't want to get lost in the weeds here where we're talking about condition forever. Because ultimately, when we look at the closer's formula and what is most important, it's price and motivation. Once we have deciphered the motivation, we of course have to talk about condition to underwrite correctly. But if we're aggressive in that underwriting and assuming that there's more things that need to be done to the property than really what the seller is divulging to us, that is where we can either, one, be spot on for our end buyers, or even build in additional profit for us as the wholesaler. But you need to be prepared for these types of conversations. And this has been something that, honestly, I never even really thought about talking about and making a video until I just started making this observation over and over and over again. And this really came out during Titanium University's live seller call reviews, where we have members inside of Titanium University record themselves talking to sellers and then submitting it for me to review and coach them on how they could close better. What I started seeing was I was disconnected from the call. I wasn't emotionally inside of it because I'm not the wholesaler. I'm not in the call whatsoever. So I get to see it from a bird's eye point of view. And I started seeing this time and time again. Men are exterior, women are interior. And I started telling the members of Titanium University, hey, you need to be prepared for this. You need to know you're talking to a 65-year-old man right now. He doesn't care about flooring and the paint color and the kitchen. He doesn't care if you have granite countertops or not. It's not important to him. But he'll talk about that landscape, and he'll talk to you about that new roof he put on. Same thing when you're talking to the elderly woman. She's not going to care about the HVAC. All she knows is cold air, hot air. She's comfortable in her beautiful kitchen or her beautiful bathroom that she'll talk to you your ear off about. You have to be prepared for this. So going into these conversations, when you start asking questions about the condition, take those answers, ask some bullet point questions about specific items, and then make solid assumptions aggressively against the rehab so you can land in the web where your end buyers will buy. So lead to you closing more deals at higher assignment fees all across the United States. That's what we do here at Titanium. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Give me a like. We'll see you guys tomorrow.